Brakes are a fundamental component on a MotoGP bike, yet they rarely become a main topic of discussion. However, that all changed after the Aragon Grand Prix, when Ducati rider Pecco Bagnaia cited the brakes as the key to the drastic change in his performance between the Saturday sprint race and the main race on Sunday. In the sprint race, Bagnaia experienced a major issue where his front brake was frequently locking up, causing him to lose feeling in the front end of the bike. As a result, he finished in a disappointing 12th place. After this failure, his team made a crucial decision: to switch the front brake discs from the standard 340mm size to the larger 355mm discs. The result was extraordinary. With the new brakes, Bagnaia seemed to rediscover his confidence entirely. He was able to fight at the front and finished in 3rd place in the main race. Many were skeptical: how could such a small change to the brakes have such a massive impact? To answer these doubts, it's best to hear from an expert on the matter, Andrea Pellegrini, a manager at Brembo, the Italian company that produces the braking systems for the entire MotoGP grid. According to Pellegrini, the technical difference between the 340mm and 355mm discs is indeed very small. He explained that with a slightly larger disc, a rider will get slightly more braking power for the same amount of pressure on the lever. Although the increase is only a small percentage, for a rider, this minor difference can provide a much better feeling and significantly boost confidence. This was the advantage that Bagnaia felt. Pellegrini added that the front-locking issue from Saturday was resolved because the 355mm disc offers more manageable and predictable braking. This is what helped Bagnaia regain the confidence he seemed to have lost in the early races of the season. Pellegrini also clarified that the 355mm disc was actually designed specifically for tracks that are very demanding on the brakes due to high heat, such as in Austria, Japan, or Thailand. The Aragon circuit itself is considered a medium to heavy category track, so its use was still feasible. However, he warned that there is a significant risk in using these discs on less demanding tracks. If the disc does not reach its ideal operating temperature or doesn't get hot enough, its performance will not be optimal and can even feel less effective initially. The decision to switch to the 355mm discs at Aragon was the result of a joint discussion between Bagnaia's team and Brembo, based on the assessment that Bagnaia could keep the brakes within the correct temperature range. Seeing this success, will the 355mm disc become the new standard? Pellegrini believes not necessarily. He explained that perhaps in the next year or two, Brembo might develop another version of the 355mm disc that could be used on all types of circuits. However, with the new MotoGP regulations in 2027, which will reduce engine power and aerodynamics, the need for such super powerful brakes will likely decrease. Their use will probably be limited to only the most critical tracks. Ultimately, Pellegrini concluded that this case is very similar to what happened with Jorge Lorenzo at Ducati in 2018. At that time, Lorenzo struggled at the start of the season, but after an ergonomic change to his fuel tank, he immediately won 2 consecutive races. Pellegrini emphasized that this is not about a massive technical advantage, but rather about how the rider gains feeling and confidence in the front end of the bike. A small change to the brakes was enough to provide the confidence a rider needs to push the bike to its absolute limit. Because if a rider doesn't trust the behavior of their front brake, it's impossible for them to be fast.